Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a new strategic concept that's really reshaping security, all the way from the Black Sea to the Mediterranean. So, let's start with a question, because the nature of security is changing, and it is changing fast. What if the most critical front line in a modern conflict is one you can't even see? You see, this really isn't about traditional naval fleets anymore. It's about protecting the invisible lifelines that power our world. Our global economy, our military command systems, our daily lives, they all depend on this hidden network of subsea cables and pipelines. Well, this evolving threat landscape has given rise to a new strategic idea, the Mavi Corridor, or in English, the Blue Corridor. And it's all about reimagining maritime security for this new era. Okay, so what does this actually mean? Let's break it down. The Mavi Corridor concept says we should stop looking at this as a series of separate seas and instead see it as one single integrated security system. And this system has two distinct layers. First, you've got the surface layer. That's everything you can see, right? The shipping, naval traffic, trade, all the stuff on top. But then there's the second layer, the subsea layer. And frankly, this is becoming the most critical part. We're talking about the energy pipelines and data cables that are quite literally the central nervous system of the modern world. It's a dual-focus approach. And what's so interesting here is how this whole idea taps into a major shift in global defense thinking. You know, modern deterrence isn't just about military might anymore. It's about resilience. It's about proving that your critical systems can withstand pressure. Because in this age of hybrid warfare, adversaries are targeting the vulnerabilities in our interconnected economies, not just our armies. To really get a handle on the Blue Corridor, we need to kind of take a journey through it. And that journey takes us through three very different but completely interconnected security zones, and each one presents its own unique challenge. So our journey starts in the Black Sea. Now, this is one of the world's most complex maritime regions, and in a place like that, the key to stability isn't firepower, it's predictability. It's about having clear, established rules that govern who can come and go. And that predictability is anchored by the 1936 Montreux Convention. It's a huge deal. Turkey has the sovereign responsibility to implement this treaty, and its impartial application is absolutely fundamental to stability in the region. So here's the bottom line. Turkey's management of the Straits prevents any sudden, destabilizing shifts in the naval balance of power. You can almost think of it as the starting lock of the whole corridor, containing crises in the Black Sea and preventing them from spilling over into the Mediterranean. Okay, next stop on our journey, we move out of the Black Sea and into the Aegean. And this is probably the most sensitive part of the entire corridor, especially when we're talking about that surface layer. The challenge here is totally different. It's about managing tensions within the NATO alliance itself. That's why deconfliction mechanisms between Turkey and Greece are so vital. See, any friction here could create an opening that hybrid actors could exploit to create uncertainty. And a crisis right here could disrupt the whole corridor, which is why these mechanisms are kind of like a strategic insurance policy. All right, our final stop is the Eastern Mediterranean. For years, this has been a really complex arena of energy geopolitics and competing interests. But the focus is starting to shift. You see, beyond all the competition, a really powerful shared interest is emerging. Securing that vast network of underwater data and energy infrastructure. Because a disrupted pipeline or a cut data cable, well, it doesn't care about politics. It harms everyone. And it's no surprise that we see both NATO and the EU creating new frameworks to address this exact shared vulnerability. So let's zoom out for a second. This whole focus on protecting critical infrastructure isn't just some regional idea playing out here. It's actually part of a much larger global pattern in defense thinking. I mean, just look at NATO's recent actions. It launched Baltic Sentry to patrol critical infrastructure there. Now, similar Arctic Sentry concepts are being discussed. This shows a clear trend toward protecting these vital networks, and the Blue Corridor fits right into this new global security practice. And technology is what makes this all possible. We're talking about AI and unmanned systems being used not for impossible 24/7 surveillance, but for persistent monitoring to detect anomalies and risks before they become full-blown crises. And if you zoom out even further and look at the core defense documents from key allies, they all point to the same conclusion. The US National Defense Strategy, the UK's Integrated Review, the EU's Cable Security Plan, all of them emphasize that national and collective resilience is now central to modern security. So how does this all connect back to Turkey's role in this new security picture? Well, it's not just about geography, it's about function. Turkey's contribution here isn't passive. It's an active, multi-layered role that really knits the entire corridor together. In the Black Sea, it provides predictability. In the Aegean, it helps manage risk. And in the Eastern Mediterranean, it's a central hub for both energy and digital connectivity. So the crucial point here is that by stabilizing this critical maritime corridor, Turkey is contributing not only to NATO's collective security, but also directly to Europe's economic resilience and, by extension, to global stability. So what's the ultimate takeaway from all this? Well, it seems we're looking at a new formula for security in the 21st century. A framework like the Mavi Corridor offers a model for the future. True deterrence is no longer just about military hardware. It's about resilience, it's about effective incident management, and it's about the ability to recover quickly from any shock to our vital systems. And that leaves us with a final thought to consider. In an age of interconnected vulnerabilities, maybe the ultimate measure of security is no longer just how hard you can hit, but how well you can absorb a blow and keep on functioning.